This is the Inokim OXO 2023. It's the latest in Inokum's powerhouse OXO lineup that's been the top of the range. We've seen the OXO, it's been with us for a while now, but over the years there's been a few things that we've always thought could have been improved. And Inokim have listened to that with the 2023 OXO and brought a whole bunch of new features and improvements that we think you're going to love. So let's jump in and talk about exactly what they are. So the first thing you'll notice on the 2023 OXO is a new range of colours. And you'll find them on both the OXO and the younger sibling, the OX as well. And what that is blue sky, which you can see next to me here, mint green, and a new colour of orange, aptly named New Orange. Now the Inokim OXO has always been known for its power and its speed. And this version brings more powerful acceleration as well, but more on that later. But the combination of power, speed and acceleration also means there's an extra requirement for grip, which is why the OXO now comes with this rubber section in the middle of the deck, greatly improving grip, particularly at high speeds. You're also getting an improved folding mechanism, which you can see here. Now there's a couple of steps to doing this. First of all, you remove this silicone strap here that stops you from accidentally activating the folding mechanism. You pull this tab out and down it comes. Now you might have also noticed that you have this red nut on the front here. Now what that actually does is it tightens the folding mechanism. So when you have your stem locked in place, you tighten that and it absolutely eliminates any sort of stem wobble. And once you've set that, you shouldn't need to adjust it. We do recommend, however, just make sure you check it each time you ride to make sure it's still tight. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. The previous generations of the Inokim OXO were not exactly renowned for their power delivery. In fact, one of the major pain points of its owners was that despite all the power in the motors that it had a bit of a slow and sluggish acceleration. Fortunately, good news, Inokim have addressed this and we now have a 57-volt battery that gives you a really powerful and torquey acceleration. This gives you faster speeds, quicker, gives you a better hill climbability, but more importantly, it gives you control because despite having a rapid acceleration, it's still very, very smooth thanks to an upgraded controller. So the Inokim OXO has always been known for power and performance, so let's talk more about that. And for starters, you're getting two 1000 watt motors on the front and one on the rear. Now they have a peak output of 1300 watts each, which makes this a phenomenally powerful electric scooter. And working together, those two motors can get this up to 63 kilometers per hour. Now that 63 km/h top speed is controlled by a variety of riding modes that you can control from the dashboard. So first of all, fans of big red buttons will love the fact there is now a big red button on the handlebar. You push it once to enter turbo mode, and you turn it off to go back into eco mode. Now turbo and eco mode each have 3 riding modes for 1, 2, 3 to adjust your power output. So you can control all of that and adjust your top speed, but if you want to go absolutely guns blazing, rider mode 3, turbo mode will take you up to that 63 km/h top speed. So now let's talk about hill climb. While the OXO doesn't have an officially rated hill climb yet, we were able to get it to climb a 10-degree hill with a 100-kilo rider on the lowest power setting at 7 km/h. And when we played around and moved up those power settings, we were able to get this up that same 10-degree incline with 15 km/h top speed. And the good news is that whether you're slightly on the heavier side of 100 kilos or whether you're on a steeper hill, this means that this will be able to handle it. So great hill climbing ability, and a lot of that comes down to the power coming from the improved battery. So the combination of motors, a controller and an improved battery actually give the OXO 110 kilometers of range. That's absolutely phenomenal, and there's nothing else quite like it that can do that distance with that power. In terms of suspension, the OXO comes with dual single-arm rubber bushing suspension systems, one on the front and one on the back behind me there. Now these have a new feature called OSAP, which is OXO Suspension Adaptive Pattern. So what does OSAP let you do? Well, quite simply, it lets you increase or decrease the height of the suspension depending on the terrain you're riding on. So if you're going on smooth, easy-going flat roads, you would want the suspension higher up and the deck lower to the ground. That improves the stability and the ride quality across smooth surfaces. But if you're going to be going on rough, uneven terrain, you can actually increase the height of the suspension, lift the body up from the ground, and have a more safer and stable ride on that rough ground. So in terms of stopping power, the OXO comes with front and rear hydraulic brakes. These operate just as effectively as any that you've found on a bike, but they also give you an abundance of stopping power, particularly when going downhill or going anywhere at speed. And one really neat feature that we see on the OXO is a fast charge battery. And so you can take this from 0% to 70% in just 3 hours. That's absolutely fantastic. So if you do get caught short somewhere and you need to get a quick charge and back on the road, this is going to do it for you in just 3 hours. You can then ride home and charge it completely overnight. Now, one of the coolest features we actually see on the OXO is something a little bit small, but you don't see a lot of this on anything else, and that's automatic headlights. There is a light sensor in the OXO that detects when it's dark, when you're undercover, and will automatically activate the front and rear lights for you as you ride. So the Inokim OXO is for riders that love power and speed, but they also need something reliable and that won't break. And while the OXO might not come with all the fancy bells and whistles that a lot of modern scooters come with, there's nothing with this combination of power and performance at this price. It's a little bit like a race car. It's built for power. It's built for durability, acceleration, and speed. And with the Inokim OXO 2023, that's exactly what you get. Now available at electrickicks.com.au.